Welcome to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm Leah Hasledge. In a special ceremony held in the Red Room of Cleveland City Hall, Mayor Frank Jackson swore in James McPike, who was appointed to the commander of the Bureau of Special Investigations within the Cleveland Division of Police. Safety Director Michael McGrath has known Commander McPike for a long time and is confident in his qualifications, dedication, and commitment to do the job.
During my tenure as chief, I had the opportunity to work with the commander as part of the special victims section, which included the sexual abuse unit, domestic violence unit, and the child abuse unit. And I found the commander to be very well qualified and very well committed.
To make the appointment official, Cleveland Division of Police Chief Calvin Williams presented Commander McPike with his shield and wreath.
So again, family, Jimmy, you guys should be proud. He's a great officer, a good guy, and it's well deserved. So congratulations, Jimmy.
The Center for American Progress, a nonpartisan group out of Washington, D.C., whose goal is to improve the lives of all Americans, held their Midwestern Resilient City Summit at Cleveland State University. Kathleen Kelly is a senior fellow with the Center for American Progress and says their organization is about generating big ideas.
The idea behind the Center for American Progress is to bring together a group of smart individuals who can really come up with some big ideas, some policy solutions to address the whole range of challenges that our country is facing. Everything from national security to providing quality education to ending poverty to addressing climate change to providing access to clean energy, everything that is at the top of the national agenda today.
The topic of the summit was building equity in a changing climate. Kelly says that most people don't realize that Midwestern cities are susceptible to climate change, and city leaders must act and adapt.
The Midwest is at risk of climate change. We don't often hear about it as much as other states in the news, but there is a new normal here in the Midwest. We see more flooding, more severe rainfall and heavy downpours. We, of course, see very extreme heat, the cold snaps that we've all been experiencing during the winter months. These are all affecting communities across the Midwest, and city leaders need to respond.
Climate change has been a serious issue in Cleveland, stated Mayor Frank Jackson, and the city is looking at options to help combat climate change and become more sustainable.
You know, we in Cleveland take this serious and really have done some things, I think, in this direction already, where we formed, I think in 2009, we started Sustainable Cleveland 2019. And the purpose of that was to look at how can we transform our economy into a sustainable economy by the year 2019.
In her keynote address, Christy Goldfuss, Managing Director of the White House Council on Environmental Quality, said it's the low-income communities that take the biggest hit when dealing with climate change.
Every day, communities around the world are facing the devastating impacts of climate change and being forced to make difficult decisions to prepare for the worst. And it's the most vulnerable, low-income communities that bear the worst impacts despite having the least resources to cope with them.
The summit continued on throughout the day with panel discussions, breakout groups, audience discussion, and guest speakers. If you would like more information on the Center for American Progress, visit their website at americanprogress.org. The Downtown Cleveland Alliance, the nonprofit organization that's been working to make downtown Cleveland the most compelling place to live, work, and play, has turned 10 years old. The organization celebrated their milestone with an ambassador recognition ceremony outside Pickwick and Frolic on East 4th. The ambassadors are the team of people who patrol the downtown streets, making sure they're clean and safe. Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson was on hand to congratulate the crew.
I want to congratulate Downtown Alliance and ambassadors for having 10 years. You know, whenever you do these kind of things and they develop longevity, it's not many that develop 10 years of longevity and actually get better each year. So I want to congratulate the Alliance and the ambassadors. And special thanks to the downtown property owners, because without your willingness to assess yourself, this would not have happened.
Michael Deemer, Executive Vice President of Business and Development for the Alliance, says it's the downtown property owners that helped form the organization 10 years ago.
In order for anybody to want to live, work, play, and invest in downtown Cleveland, they need to feel comfortable, and the environment needs to look and feel inviting. And so they really banded together. They created the Downtown Cleveland Alliance, and the flagship program for these entire 10 years has been our Clean and Safe ambassadors that really serve as additional eyes and ears for the Cleveland police. They keep downtown looking beautiful and inviting, and they really serve as walking ambassadors to greet visitors into downtown Cleveland.
For more information on the Downtown Cleveland Alliance, visit their website at downtowncleveland.com. The 14th annual Minority Men's Health Fair at the Cleveland Clinic brought thousands of men from all over the area to get free health screenings. We asked Dr. Charles Maudlin, who founded the fair, why they do this great annual event.
We're concerned about the disparate health incidence of disease, especially afflicting men of color. African American males are more likely to suffer from health care disparities. Examples include higher rates of diabetes, hypertension, prostate cancer, heart disease. Black men develop and die from prostate cancer twice as often as white men. So we at Cleveland Clinic, we want to do something about ending these healthcare disparities, and a lot of it has to do with educating men about how to stay healthy, educating them about the importance of preventative health screenings, and also providing a venue through which they can actually acquire those screenings. And this is a free community health fair. We target minority men, but it's open to everybody. A number of these conditions are curable if we can get to them and diagnose them in early stages. Colorectal cancer, diabetes, prostate cancer, potentially 100% curable. So we want to send the message that things can be done. We can actually put an end to these healthcare disparities.
For more information, visit clevelandclinic.org. Jumpstart, the organization that provides assistance and support to startups and small businesses, recently held a pitch competition where small business owners pitched their business plans with the hopes of winning a very valuable prize. Here's more from reporter Dan Monroe, who is at the competition.
Small business owners had 4 minutes to pitch their services to 4 judges for a chance to win a $1,000 prize for their company. The group putting this on was Jumpstart, a nonprofit organization in Cleveland that helps small business owners and entrepreneurs through their Core City program. Lamont Mackley is the principal of services and investing for Jumpstart.
We are just about at 100 entrepreneurs that have come in and have been engaged with the Core City Cleveland program, and it appears that all of them are benefiting from the activity and interaction, and the learning that they're getting has helped them propel their business, because that's really what the program is about, how to put a path forward for each of these entrepreneurs to develop their business going forward.
11 people participated in the contest, each one hoping to impress the judges enough to take home the prize money. In their pitches, certain points needed to be addressed, says Mackley.
And some of the things that they should be covering is the information about what their business does, what's unique about their business, how they in fact are going to attract revenue, what they do as far as customer service is concerned, and what team do they have in place to help them carry out that business. Those are some of the things that they should be covering as a part of their pitch. But they only have 4 minutes, so they have to utilize that time appropriately.
The competition was full of twists and surprises, the first being the announcement of the winner.
As it turned out, we have a tie. Literally 2, and we couldn't pick one between the 2. So the 2 winners of $1,000 are Wow and Althar.
The other surprise came from Jerry France, the senior managing partner for Jumpstart.
One of the things that we want to acknowledge for all the work and the time and effort that all the participants put in, you're all going to be awarded a $500 prize.
I caught up with the winners afterwards, and both say they were happy and humble to have won.
I am so surprised. I am so pumped. I'm excited, and I love it.
It's not about beating them out. We all won. We all win because of the networking. It's all about Cleveland. It's all about giving back to society. It's about people.
At the Jumpstart Pitch Your Business competition for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
A group of Cleveland area high school students paid a special visit to Cleveland City Hall for a meet and greet with Mayor Frank Jackson. These students were winners of an essay contest called Stop the Hate, put on by the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage. Ellen Rudolph, the executive director of the museum, says the students wrote about their own personal experiences with discrimination and intolerance.
The Stop the Hate essay contest is an annual contest that we extend to students in grades 6 through 12 in Northeast Ohio. We ask students to reflect on an experience that they've had with discrimination or intolerance, and to talk about how they responded to it and how they would work to affect change in their community as a result of this experience that they've had.
After a photo shoot in the mayor's office, the students moved to the Red Room where they could ask Mayor Jackson questions and talk about what was on their minds. Gilmore Academy student Christian Borky learned from this essay contest.
I learned a lot, especially from the other people that wrote these essays. Everyone wrote such fantastic, fantastic things about the world. Everyone has such an amazing perspective on everything. I learned that my voice is powerful, I guess, through this essay.
Naya Hardaway from Shaker Heights High School was glad she took the time to write her essay and submit it to the Stop the Hate competition.
This is really exciting, and this just shows what the opportunity brings, because at first a lot of people are hesitant to enter into competitions like this, just because you have to put your effort into writing a 500-word piece, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but in the midst of college applications and everything like that, it's a lot of energy and work to actually do. So it just shows our hard work is actually paying off, and a lot of us are like-minded, so it's interested to sit around a table like this and actually talk about current events and what we've been doing in school, where we're going to school, and what our future plans are going to be. So that's really interesting.
For more information on the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage, visit their website at maltzmuseum.org. We'll see how students at East Technical High School are doing their part for the environment on Arbor Day. And then we'll check out some new developments that have officially opened in downtown Cleveland. All that and more when we return to the Weekly News Wrap-Up.
Car crashes, accidents. We're telling you why be next. So listen to us. Don't drive next.
Keep Cleveland safe and do not text when you drive.
Welcome back to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. East Technical High School received a beautiful makeover on its campus, thanks in part to a few local organizations, some hardworking volunteers, and a little holiday called Arbor Day. Here's TV20 reporter Dan Monroe with more.
In celebration of Arbor Day, East Tech High School students and volunteers planted more than 70 trees in and around the school grounds. The day started out with a program in the gym. Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson attended the ceremony and remarked how each tree planted is important when looking at the big picture.
And one of the essential things that they talk about in order for us to be able to create an environment and create a climate that is good for human life and life in general is trees. So just planting that one tree may seem like nothing, but in the whole scheme of things, when you look at the ecology of the world, trees are very essential and important to life.
The whole day wouldn't happen without the assistance and support of the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, who donated the trees. Emily Baca, the organization's Director of Communications and Marketing, says restoring the land is what the Conservancy is all about.
So the Western Reserve Land Conservancy is a nonprofit conservation organization dedicated to providing the people of our region with essential natural resources. So trees, public parks, clean water, healthy forests, through land conservation and restoration.
A ceremonial tree was planted in honor of Olympic track legend and East Tech alum Jesse Owens. With shovels in hand, Mayor Jackson, along with Ward 5 Councilwoman Phyllis Cleveland, placed the first piles of mulch around the tree. Afterwards, Councilwoman Cleveland, who is also an East Tech alum, told me that planting the trees today will reap many benefits tomorrow.
Trees make everything look better. The other thing is the other impact will really be felt years down the road, because we know what benefits trees bring to a community, to a neighborhood, and to a city. It improves the quality of air, which improves the health of residents. It improves property values, and studies have shown that it reduces crime rates in the area where you have a good concentration of trees. So this is great for today, but even better for tomorrow.
With guidance from the tree experts at the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, the students dug and planted trees throughout East Tech's campus. The work was hard, but everybody seemed to have a good time. East Tech's principal, Temujin Taylor, says the trees will not only make the campus look beautiful, but provide some needed shade for its students.
Actually, it's going to make things look great. I know a couple of the students had made the ideal of having some type of walkway with trees, but then also additional areas where they would have shades, because in the springtime we actually have the students come outside for lunch, so they just said that it would actually make the campus look a little better.
The Western Reserve Land Conservancy does a lot of great work throughout our area. For more information, visit their website at wrlandconservancy.org. At East Tech High School, for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
Mayor Frank Jackson joined Chief Edward Rybka and a bevy of residents showing their Polish pride outside the historic St. Stanislaus Church in Slavic Village to commemorate Polish Constitution Day in Cleveland.
Dzień dobry. I get it right, Rich? Okay. I want to congratulate the Polish community on the 225th anniversary of the signing of the Polish Constitution. And I also want to thank the Polish community for the contribution that you have made to Cleveland. I can remember as a child staying on 38th and Central, and I can remember 55th and Broadway. I can remember Fleet Avenue, and I can remember the ethnicity of this neighborhood. And even though times have changed, there's still a strong cultural bind and tie here. So again, congratulations on 225 years of the Polish Constitution, and thank you very much for your contribution to Cleveland.
This event was always a very special part of the Rybka family, and continues to be. I can remember as a councilman working with our planning department and having our planning director say, the center of this community is St. Stanislaus Church. And you redevelop around what happens here at this place of worship and this activity center. But it's also the center place for Greater Cleveland's Polish community. And it's important that we work to preserve that culture and appreciate that proud history that the mayor referenced. Thank you all for being here this afternoon.
We asked event coordinator Andre Stepin the historical importance of having the celebration and the parade in the community.
The Constitution was second in the world and was 2 years after the United States Constitution, and all the freedoms of the equal rights and so on were granted in Poland. And back then in Europe, nobody actually had those ideas, and Poles were very open and they were accepting other nationalities, and back then Poland was the center of the Europe almost to a certain degree. Presently we just want to continue those traditions over here in Cleveland, continue for a number of years, and every year we have this celebration, and the location is not important. Important is heart of the people who are joining and celebrating. We are Americans, but we also feel that the Polish values and historical experience is important for our society as we know it. So those are the things we would like to emphasize.
The first boutique-style hotel recently opened in downtown Cleveland. The Kimpton Schofield Hotel, located at East 9th and Euclid, welcomed leaders in the city and region for an official grand opening celebration. Illyria Marching Band performed for those in attendance and received a check for $500 from Kimpton Schofield for their Boosters Fund. Mayor Frank Jackson spoke about the hotel's significance in Cleveland.
Cleveland is a great city in terms of opportunities for investment. We're not a large urban center, but we have all the amenities of a large urban center, which this hotel now becomes one of those things that will make Cleveland a very attractive place and really make us a place where people will want to come and visit and do the things that you do in urban centers. But we're a small city in terms of our character and personality and our hospitality, and that's what I feel here at Kimpton, is that this is a place where you will make people feel welcome.
We're excited to be here. We're Cleveland's first true luxury boutique hotel, and for us as a company, it's our first hotel in Ohio. So happy to be here, and thank you all for having us.
I spoke with CEO of Kimpton Hotels and Restaurants, Mike DeFrino, about the uniqueness of the Kimpton Schofield.
Each hotel is different, so each hotel has its own design and theme. We've never done the same hotel twice, but there are certain Kimpton threads that weave their way through Kimpton. You'll see a unique art program in this hotel. Lots of allusions to Cleveland's history. Every Kimpton hotel has free bike borrows, not rentals, in the lobby through a partnership with Public Bikes. We have yoga mats in the closet, obviously robes in the rooms, great bath amenities, and really luxurious sheetings. And I mean, it's got pretty much every tenet of a luxury hotel, but it's really a more intimate experience, a more personal experience, and it's design led and meant to be meant to really speak to Cleveland. A lot of the artisans and a lot of the furniture that was made regionally here. A lot of the art that's hanging on the walls was done by Cleveland artists. So we've really immersed ourselves in Cleveland and Central Ohio culture to bring this alive, and we really think it's turned out great.
There will be a new restaurant in with the hotel called Parker's Downtown.
So Parker's Downtown is going to be a progressive American restaurant, 120 seats inside, maybe another 40 seats on the patio. Industrial feel, local food scene, if you will. So we're going to be bringing the food in that people from downtown Cleveland and northern Ohio people are used to, using the different farms and different methods of cooking to really wrap the guest minds around Cleveland's downtown culture in northern Ohio.
The annual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony took place in New York City this year, but here in Cleveland, the home of rock and roll, we carried a live feed of the ceremony. TV20 was there to capture the fun and learn what's next at the hall.
We're here at the official simulcast for the 2016 induction ceremony, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We're going to have a packed house tonight. Everybody's going to be here watching the ceremony throughout the whole museum. We've got screens set up on the main level. We have our theater upstairs going. We've got screens on the lower level.
This year's inductees included Deep Purple, Chicago, NWA, Steve Miller, Burt Burns, and Cheap Trick.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, too. Some of these bands haven't played together in some time, and some of these members haven't played together in some time. So there's going to be some reunions, there's going to be some wonderful speeches, and great performances all around. So every class is unique. And this one, too, really shows a lot of the 70s FM radio. Steve Miller, Chicago, Cheap Trick, Deep Purple, those are all bands that ruled FM radio. And then you got somebody like NWA, who's really risen back into prominence with the help of their biopic that came out last year. So it shows that these people are still culturally relevant. And a lot of these, Chicago's still touring, Cheap Trick is still touring, Deep Purple's still touring. There's members come and go, but the name and the legacy has stayed.
And the Rock Hall announced that the annual induction ceremony will be rocking the shores of Lake Erie even more often.
Yeah, we're so excited. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony is going to be here every other year starting in 2018. It's big for the city. It fills the hotels, and there's just so much excitement that's here in the city. The energy is fantastic. You got stars from all over the world who come here into Cleveland, and fans alike, who want to just be in the glow of the induction. So we're really excited. It's going to be great for Cleveland, and it's great for the fans, too.
Rock and roll continues to evolve, and so does the Hall of Fame and Museum.
We're working on putting a stage outside, a beer garden. There's going to be some big lettering that greets you as you come down Rock and Roll Boulevard down to the Rock Hall. But we don't just want to be a museum here, you know? Like, we want to be a gathering place. We're not just guitars and shirts and lyrics on the wall. You know, we're a living, breathing museum. We have concerts here all the time, but we want to be a gathering place for Clevelanders. We have this great lake behind us, and so come on down in the summer and spend some time here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Change is evident in the city of Cleveland. Developers are working hard to build hotels and luxury condos. Entrepreneurs and real estate investors are helping reform our neighborhoods. One particular area sits right along the Cuyahoga River and is a prime location for investors. Here's reporter Christian Patterson with more.
The Flats, perhaps one of Cleveland's most historic neighborhoods. A mixture of residential, industrial, and entertainment makes the Flats a hotspot for Cleveland. In the mid-1980s, the Flats saw a resurrection as an entertainment destination. Underground music venues, bars, and nightclubs appeared on the East Bank, while mainstream development first took place on the West Bank. Now, nearly 30 years later, the East Bank of the Flats has started its second coming as an entertainment destination. And real estate investors on the West Bank are hoping for the same.
I actually love this neighborhood. I think it's a great place. And you know, I wasn't here when the Flats were very different than they are now. This is, you know, 1990s, I guess, is when they were like very hopping. I wasn't here for that, but I heard a lot about it. And you know, it'd be cool to bring some of the good elements of that back to life and bring some life back here.
Dr. Fadul is in the process of reviving Tank Machine and Tool Company, a long overlooked building located on Center Street on the West Bank. The real estate investor has big plans for Tank that include office space, retailers, a cafe, and a barber shop, just to name a few.
What I envisioned for Tank West Bank in the near future, I plan for it to be the hub, the place where true artists and visionaries can come together and work together for the greater good of our community.
So Cleveland's a great place for young people to come, to live, to start a business, to try your hand at something new. Absolutely.
Dr. Fadul has lived in London, Paris, New York, and Miami. But after living in Cleveland for the past 5 years, he now calls this city home. But what is it about Cleveland that makes him not only want to live here, but also invest in the city with various projects?
You're seeing a resurgence. You're seeing good energy coming back into the city. You're seeing a lot of young entrepreneurs saying they want to, you know, plant their flag and do something new and do something great here. That's exciting, and you want to be a part of that. And you know, when I look at you know, my immediate neighborhood, I want to leave a good mark there where I can say, you know, we did that. We turned this place that may not have been, you know, the best area when we got here. We turned it to something better.
That's all for your TV20 Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm Leah Haslage. But don't change that channel just yet, because up next we're going to have the Inside Sports Report with Christian Patterson. TV20, we are Cleveland.